Hello and welcome to the RotD Deep Dive spoiler-filled discussion of Puppet Master 4. Now, there's a few things I want to cover. First of all, I had no idea how much I wanted to play laser tag with killer puppets until I saw this movie. It is now on my bucket list. It has got to happen. Next, I thought there was an interesting idea exploring the link between the demon's dimension and ours. It seems like there was it's not just traveling from one to the other. It almost seems like there was kind of an Avatar-esque thing going where they had representations of themselves within our dimension. And I don't know. It was just kind of an interesting idea. As an entity got killed in ours, the corresponding entity in theirs was still physically there and simply deflated. I don't know. I just thought that was kind of an interesting take on it. It would have been so easy to simply, have some cartoony lightning effects happen around them and then zap them away into our dimension to be killed here. But no, they kind of established a physical link between two different entities between them. So I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. Something worth bringing up. I really hope, as we continue on with the series, that we continue moving forward chronologically. I kind of doubt it, simply because I may kind of make it a purposeful thing not to look up information on the movies that are coming up next. But even so, I know what movies are coming up next, and I know that one of them is titled Retro Puppet Master. So it kind of stands to reason that we're looking at least another prequel, possibly more. But aside from that, I really do hope that we continue moving forward chronologically, because I think the storyline as it's being presented in 4 is an interesting one, and I want to see it fleshed out more. I like what they're doing with the franchise with this, and I like how this is all playing out. After the third one, I was a little but I think we're kind of I think especially after the second one, I was but I think we're on solid ground now. I think we have a good foundation, and I think we can build off of this, and I'd like to see that happen. And then the last thing I really want to discuss is not so much about this movie in particular as it is about more of a overall theme of sequels, and especially in creating quality sequels, and sometimes sequels that are even better than the original. It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. And I think one of the most important elements for that to happen is to switch the dynamic roles of the main characters. We saw that with Godfather and Godfather 2 with Michael. He's now embracing the role that he fought in the first one. And it was a dynamic shift for him, and it was kind of flipping the script. And we saw that with Toy Story 2 and Toy Story. In Toy Story, Woody was explaining the virtues to Buzz about how being a toy and being simply Andy's toy is good enough, and trying to convince Buzz that this lofty goal of his that he has in his mind about who he should be, it's a fantasy, and it doesn't even compare to the reality of being something as quality as Andy's toy. And then in the second one, Woody finds out he's part of this collector's series, and Buzz has to be the one telling him, no, being Andy's toy is not just good enough, it's the best thing there is. And now in this one, we have this kind of dynamic where, I've said this before in my deep dives and even my reviews, that one of the elements of the Puppet Master series that I really like is that the puppets are not inherently evil, that they simply operate on the command and interests of their puppet master, and who sometimes has evil, nefarious schemes, and sometimes when they go too far, the puppets turn against them. I think that's an interesting moral, ethical element that identifies them as simply more than just mindless killers, but cute little fellows with knives and souls. And I like that. I dig that element. And now we have an interesting element where the puppet master if there is one in this, but let's just assume there is, and it's the main character, that the puppet master doesn't have evil intentions, like in the slightest. He's out to benefit mankind. He sees this as a possible avenue to do it. He's not going to hurt anybody. And now the puppets are simply defending him. They are, through and through the good guys. There is an evil element that is thrown in there that they now must defend the humans against. I really like that. I like that switch of dynamics, and I think that is something that elevated this movie toward that. Whether it will continue along that path, whether it should continue along that path, remains to be seen. I think that ultimately we do want to get to the point where it's puppets killing humans again. And how do you integrate that in? And I just said that, I would like to see things chronologically move forward, but thinking about this in my head as I'm talking just now, I think one of the easiest ways to have that happen is to do what the third one did and have them fighting Nazis. So, I don't know. I'm conflicted with myself on that one, I suppose. But it's, it's nothing that I really, hashed out beforehand. It's just something, thoughts that are popping into my head and worthy of discussion, I think. And that's what I'd like to do at this point, is discuss this with you. If you agree with me, disagree with me on my review, if you have anything to add as far as the deep dive discussion points that I've done here, I would love to hear it. Please leave comments below, and I will be reading them and engaging with them. Other than that, I really do appreciate you making me a part of your day, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Thank you.